Hello, it's Azenko again, and today I'm just going to show you a little something about creating elements with, for instance, different objects. Now here we have something, a logo I made this morning. It's called Butterflight, and one of my friends, she was asking me, how did you get the butter effect? So what I'm going to do is not recreate this one, but kind of create another object with the same kind of theme. Essentially, you want to know what kind of element works when you're using vectors. Right, you can actually combine pretty much any element and you're only limited by your creativity. So what I'm going to do is actually create not a butter bird anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an egg, right, that's made out of butter. Rather than start a new file, what I'm going to do is just drag this over here and create a new artboard with an artboard tool here and just dragging, creating a new one. Where did the butter bird come from? It came from butter egg. So essentially, we have our two objects here. I'm just going to create them side by side. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my basic egg shape, which you can pretty much do by getting a ellipse, creating one like so. No, don't want it too big, and I don't want it too. And then I'm going to use the direct selection tool. A is a shortcut for that. Select that particular part of the path and just move this up just a little. We don't want it to be too egg shaped. We want it to be just enough so that it works well with what we're doing. Now, just create this egg on a new layer altogether so that they're both separate, and just lock this layer. So I'm not going to be using that one for anything, just having it there. So I have my egg. I'm going to choose the colors I want. And I guess in this particular case it's good to set up swatches, but I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. Essentially, your swatches would contain the list of colors that you'd want to be using for a particular set of colors. Weird. Anyway, doesn't matter. Now, with this whole egg shape, you want to be able to select your colors. I'm going to choose my colors, which is over here. I'm going to put this back up there and upgrade my colors. So here's my colors. Right now it's black and white. I don't want to use black and white. So I'm going to choose RGB and I'm going to get my colors here. I want it to be an egg that's made out of butter. Now the first thing you want to notice is that I don't normally like working with what do you call them? Outlines or strokes. What I tend to do is work with not strokes but rather just the fill colors and use my pen tool. Now for the whole butter effect, what I would recommend is using a lot of gradients. Not too much, but just enough. A lot of gradients. So just to create that whole buttery effect. That part doesn't look too great. To kind of contour around the same way and just edit that path right there, carry it around. And you want it to not just be there and just, but you want it to look like it's leaking as well. It's not just to be a color, but rather to be a whole shape and everything. So it doesn't matter if it overlaps. Just gonna have that there. What we have here is that. No, it's fine if it overlaps. It's actually good that it overlaps, so I can actually change my color afterwards. It's probably something lighter, right? You can see just a little difference there. Now underneath it, we're gonna need more glossiness, right? So now do something like this. Just a little bit of that. Change that. Choose a different color. White. Right. Now I'm gonna settle with those colors, but I'm gonna use gradients a lot. So I'm gonna choose radial gradient right now. It looks like that. Just gonna choose a yellow here. Right. That. Sorry, got a phone call. I'm sorry about that. So back to our gradient, choosing two different colors. If I don't want to, I can just do that. Choose one here, drop that off, and change this to white. Right? And it's good to kind of maintain transparency as well in your color selection. So I might have white here, but I want the opacity of it to be less than something else. And then going in my gradient editor, just a bit of that. Right, contort it to that shape, rotate it, make it bigger. Right, so it's not just there. Now in this thing, there's more to do. But as for now, I'm just gonna work with what I have. And it's not just white alone we're gonna be using. We're also gonna be using some more the darker colors. I'm gonna go to outline mode, Control Y, so I can just see my lines. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, what on earth is this madman doing? Let me simply show you. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm going to overlap two shapes to create a shadow. I'm going to take this one, this shape here, copy it, paste it in front, and select this one. Using my Pathfinder tool, I'm going to intersect them. Then I'm going to have to change the color of this again. Yes. Continuing. Now that I've gotten the shape to just stay within the egg range, I'm just going to move it towards the back. And that's the shape I have. Right now it's looking more like honey than butter, but that's fine. Let's continue with the whole honey look. Why not? Honey egg, egg of honey, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this same little brown color here, add it to my swatches. That way when I'm choosing my gradient I can get the same exact color to work with it. Afterwards now I'm going to go over into my gradient, and here we have the options of choosing from our swatches, and the last color I added was this brown color. Alright. Oh, there's brown here. There's some weird color here. That's fine. I'm going to increase opacity on this one in particular. And now to slather some of this good stuff. G, well, not on this. Using G. So increase this thing here to more. Oh, they're bothering me on Facebook. Guys. Continuing. And now some of the overlapping of this thing inside here. Putting it below. And now we need more white in there. Now it's probably starting to come together now. It's pretty okay. Taccucine. And we get that. I say, oh, this thing is rather fetching. And now taking this brush tool over here in the color of white. I'm gonna put a few dots in here. About 10. Just basic. Let's change the color to white then. Just a few spots. Just to give it that shiny look. And we're not done yet. Although this honey was running, butter, honey butter, whatever. Although it's running, it hasn't exactly melted onto the floor as yet. So we need to put that in. Give it that extra effect. You can never have too much. right? So you want it to melt somewhat onto the ground. So I'm gonna just take this thing here and kind of cause it to melt out. Hold on a sec. Where was I? Oh yes. This egg was melting to the point where it was spilling on the ground. Send all this to the back. And I got the egg here, and you want to keep a kind of contour somewhat like here to show that this is where it's really resting. And you're going to use a linear white gradient to bring it out. I'm not going to use light colors, I'm going to use the dark. But you kind of want to offset it with some white. And once you have your gradient set up, you can pretty much just grab from your gradients. But you have to make sure that you make it look nice nonetheless. Right? It's not outside, it's inside. And you can call that honey egg. Probably you could draw a bee on it. Probably add something over here too. Right, done. There we are. Serve me up some honey, yeah. And that's how you create that. I'm just gonna group it. And that's how you create a honey egg. I'll just type it there. Honey egg. If you want to go as far, you could always just do some stuff with the text as well. But it's just an egg, honey egg. Right? So enjoy that. See you eventually. Sorry about the whole bunch of interruptions. But that's it. Take care.